Blah. So, what should we tackle first here, Russ? What are we talking about? Serve us up.
I want to go with Children in Heat. I mean, it's fairly obvious, but there's just some parts about it. I don't know. Just
Let's try it. Let's take a look. I'm going to pull
I
up the
like,
lyrics right now.
I'm like
In
you, Jeff. Man, I like to talk, so let's just.
what? Hey, I never shut the freak up. It's my mutant superpower. I just endlessly talk for hours and hours on the internet. I just, if I was in the X-Men, that's what it would be. All right, here's the lyrics for the song. Oh no, we can't see Russ. This is not really working to the. Oh wow. There's just no combination of sharing
Wait,
the screen. That's what we have to do, I
you can
guess.
put me behind the logo. I'm good.
No, 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 no. We're not going to do that. All right. So here are the lyrics. It kind of, again, we talk about the sort of beat poetry style of Glenn Danzig's songs, especially the earlier ones,
Yeah,
before, I guess maybe before Walk Among Us and Earth AD, maybe?
yeah.
Where it's just really like it's beat poetry, man. I feel like Children in Heat could be play. You would hear this song on the bongos in a yeah. It would just be like Children in Heat.
Heat.
They have no conscience, no resistance. You gotta see this big reaction, no resistance. Cellophane sex, a new way of life. You know what I mean?
Can you dig it, man?
Can you dig
Yeah.
it? I love this song. It's actually one of my favorite Misfits songs. If I had to hear top five, had to hear live, I would want to hear Children in Heat. I just love Joey Image's drumming on this one. He just really,
Yeah.
they're like a freight train.
The first time I ever heard this song, it was either a tape or somebody had put something together, and
Yeah.
it was the version where they run together, and it wasn't labeled properly, and I just thought, oh, this is a cool song. They segue into this different piece of the song, and for I don't know several months, maybe a year, I thought it was just one big song, So it was a revelation to me to see teenagers, and then like in another version that stops, and then whoa, wait a minute, that's another song. So it, like I said, it wasn't properly labeled, so I think it just said teenagers. It just said teenagers, and it was that whole piece. Anyway,
I I love hearing stories like that, Russ, because we've talked about this on the channel before. It's just that's part of the fascination about discovering stuff in the pre-internet age, where because of misinformation ends up to all sorts of creation of these really sort of interesting notions of what we think something is, and when we don't have any idea. And I love what you just said, and there's actually some truth to what you just said. So here's the truth of the matter: is that horror business, Children in Heat and Teenagers from Mars, particularly Children in Heat into Teenagers from Mars, or maybe it's vice versa. Which comes first on the single?
Teenagers, right?
Okay, so Teenagers into Children in Heat, right, because that's literally what you just said, and I just didn't realize it. That is how they played the songs live. And when they're in the studio, the reason why the reason why it sounds that way, Russell, like it could be one song, is because they rehearsed it that way. The song Teenagers from Mars is supposed to bleed into, or sort of turn into, Children in Heat. They never stop. They're supposed to continue, right, one song into another. So you get this sort of very interesting, and that kind of evolved from the live show. And they do that on the record. And the person who brought that to my attention was Tim Begowitz, when I went over to his house to interview him all those years ago, just as I know you have interviewed him as well. And he was the one who sort of really illuminated me to that notion. I had no idea, but it's really obvious on all the sort of outtake stuff that was on those master tapes. So there's that.
All right.
So here, let's take a look at the lyrics here. Children in Heat, they have no conscience, no resistance. You got to see this big reaction, no resistance. So they have no conscience. I mean, essentially, when I think of Children in Heat, I just think of horny teenagers, horny
Yep.
kids, right?
Yep.
That's what we're dealing with. Children in Heat. It almost sounds like it could be a '50s movie. You know,
Yeah.
man, wouldn't that make you wonder? I guess we would know if it was the title of a
Yeah.
of a
I've looked for years. I've never seen anything remotely, that seemed to speak to that. But somebody will probably come up in the chat and be like, "Oh, well, here it is."
Well, I mean, that's what's happened time and again with all this stuff.
Yeah.
Some stuff that we think was sort of synthesized purely from Glenn actually originated somewhere else. And isn't that part of the fun mystery of it all?
Yeah.
You know,
Wouldn't it be great if there were a brochure somewhere, about abstinence, like you were saying in the 50s, and it's, don't let your child run wild in heat. They don't have any conscience,
But you would imagine that this is where that comes from.
Yeah.
Totally. That he got that in at school,
in health
education.
Class. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In that education class and got that sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Imagine it like those, like the World War II trailers, that were in the movie, the little short films, warning, the children are in heat. They have no conscience.
Right. You're really good at doing voiceovers. That's great.
See things, like that. That would be great to find that piece of film or that brochure, where this came from. That would just be really awesome.
Oh, I see we have a guest has popped into the wings. Let's bring him in as well. Might as well if he's here.
Get it now.
There he is. Oh, but he's hidden. Hold on. Oh shit. I don't know what dude, you might be at crap out of luck. You are crap out of luck. You're at the bottom.
That's okay.
You're hidden.
Russell's the star of this one, so.
Hold on. That, Robby.
Welcome Robby Bloodshed to the stream. Hold on. I don't feel good doing it like this. Let's take off this. We'll just take off my overlay. Hold on 1 second. It'll take just 2 seconds. Yes, we're gonna go bare. We've done it before. We can do it again.
No. We can't go bare.
We gotta go bare. There we go.
Sex.
There we go. Okay, that moves over there. Perfect. Now we can talk. Hey, what's going on, Robby? So we're talking about children in heat. I love this idea. I never thought about it like that. Yes, that it's like children in heat. What to do about children in heat?
Like an old PBS special.
Yes.
Yes. After school special.
Yeah.
Yes, Amy, that's definitely what it is. It's about it's about horny teens. That's the truth.
It's a double feature. Which witch is Miss Switch and Children in Heat?
Right. So you'd imagine, and then cellophane sex is obvious. Cellophane is, just like saran wrap. It's like you wrap your junk in saran wrap as a means of sort of emulating a prophylactic, if you will, and bagging it up back in the day. That's what they used to do.
You used to have cellophane around it. I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, I think cellophane is a nicer way of saying saran wrap instead of saying, well, actually, that's kind of interesting too. Saran wrap sex, cellophane sex, a new way of life, because you wouldn't use cellophane. Cellophane is, there's nothing sticky about cellophane. With saran wrap, you could actually sort of wrap it up and kind of make it stick together.
Look, he's obviously talking about, condoms, but think about the cadence that cellophane gives him in that line. He's not going to say, I don't know. And he's painting the picture again, remember?
Right. No, it's just more poetic. Like, I mean, I'm sure when you're writing a song, or Russell, if you've written a song where you're trying to make certain words sound better when they're sung together, right?
Absolutely.
So cellophane sex, and then a new way of life is, hey, we found this new way of life is, fucking.
Yeah. And
bottom line.
Piss and blood would be what kind of disease would you piss?
Gonorrhea, chlamydia, one of those, an STD.
I looked it up today. I was like, man, what STD makes you piss blood?
I was gonna say.
I'm glad to say I'm very ignorant about those things.
That's a good thing to be ignorant about, I guess.
Nothing is piss and blood. I mean, there's no
chlamydia. Yeah.
Oh, it's chlamydia.
Clap.
Oh, sorry. It's the clap. Yeah. Okay. There you go. So there you have it, folks. That pretty much that solves that mystery. Whoa, what was that? What the hell is that? Why did that happen? Did you hear that, or is it just me?
That was probably me clearing my throat.
No, I heard like a weird like nature. Ah!
I didn't hear
I don't
that.
know. It
It's
must
probably
be.
my
It must
kids
be from.
acting up.
No, it's this lyrics. It's this lyrics website I'm on. Okay, so then you have the line "no resistance," which could mean actually a couple of different things. Okay,
Yeah.
now I'm definitely hearing it. No resistance could mean. It could mean like you can't resist this new way of life of
Right.
cellophane sex, or it could mean no resistance, as in something a lot more sort of forceful, if you know what I mean,
Yeah.
without using that word. No resistance. I want no resistance in my conquest.
How about even no resistance to that STD? I don't know.
Could be. You have no
Yeah.
resistance to that STD, and does follow piss and blood for 7 days. I have no resistance. I can't,
Yeah.
deal with that.
I always assume with like no resistance, because you're talking about children, like no parents or anybody is going to stop you from doing.
Yeah.
I think every single thing that we all just said is valid. They're all,
Show
it's
me.
all subjectively valid.
No parents. Ding ding. Yeah, it's up there. It's on the board, man.
It's all sort of, it all fits, it all plugs in. But then you have children and heat. You can't control them.
Yeah, the parents are not going to be able to stop these kids from,
Right.
doing
You
their
can't,
thing.
you can't stop the kids from, right. Yeah. Amy says you can't stop their horny level. And then we're going to name the baby. We're going to talk about the Chicago line in a minute. We're not there yet. We're not there yet about Chicago.
Their horny level. I like it. I just realized I was not watching. I was in the private chat, and so I was missing the whole stream. So
There's no, oh yeah, you were missing the stream. I was about to say there's nothing going on in the private chat.
no, that
It's
was
like
just me asking, "Are you there, buddy?"
Yeah, no, there's definitely some sort of, the horny level is at 9,000, definitely at 9,000, but it's yeah, you can't, it says children in heat, you can't control them. And then here's what's interesting, and maybe this is a typo, maybe it's while they're running away, it says while I'm running away and away, they're always going to run away. While they're running, no, it's supposed to be they're running away.
Yeah,
while
right,
they're running
right.
away.
Is there official lyrics for children?
I don't think so. Bless you.
Oh, then these are all wrong.
I was going to say, I don't know if they were in a lost book or
Yeah.
anything.
While
like
they're running away and away. I'm making you guys your volumes a little bit louder. I hope that.
They're always going to run away.
They're always going to run away. Children in heat. So
I think he slurs that line where
I think
while
he
they're
does
running
say
away.
I think he does say "I'm." I'm fair. While I'm running away.
he says so it's not while I'm running away. While they're running away, they're always going to run away. And it's almost like parents like talking to each other, like those kids, the kids will be kids, that kind of thing. They're running away. They're running away. They're always going to run away. That kind of thing. You can't control them. You might as well. They're going to do what they want to do, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to listen to that again.
Yeah, I can't. I don't remember if it's your or I'm.
Yeah. And then Robby and I are gonna come
While
back
you're
next week
running
and we're gonna
away.
fight, like, live on on the thing, like, no, it's there running while they're running away.
Running away. Okay, here's what's interesting. David Lee is saying, oh my God. He says they're running away because they impregnated a chick, like the reverse Young Turks by Rod Stewart,
Very
which
good.
he celebrates runaway kids having a kid. Oh my goodness. That is salacious, to say the least.
Yeah.
So,
I love that about these things. It's such simple lyrics, but man, you get easily a dozen different interpretations.
that's why it's fun to do this, to sort of sit back and like really sort of meditate on every word, because every word has an interesting meaning. And what's funny? I think on some level, like imagine Glenn writing this stuff and like, maybe he knows what it means at the time, but now like 40 something years later, 50 years later, whatever, you're asking him about these lyrics. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. He just doesn't.
About fucking a chick.
Yeah, about fucking. It's just about fucking. That's it.
About
like
violence. About
Yeah,
But-
I was going to say that.
but you talk to him back then, and he probably had. Well, maybe he wouldn't explain it, but at least there would be the lyrics. The lyrics sort of like the lyrics sort of preserve whatever Glenn was trying to say at that time, right? Kind of like preserving the moment, the thought of the moment. So children in heat are young little kindlewood. I see them burning. Is it our young little children in heat are your little kindlewood? Are your I never thought of it as young. It's your little kindlewood.
Yeah, I thought it was young. I'm terrible with interpreting, with hearing it. So
Bless you. You got one more and you're out.
I feel it.
So I found something interesting about this particular verse.
Okay.
I Googled and Googled and Googled.
This is where Russell shines, by the way.
Well, this is not really a good one, but the only thing I came up with was some other guy in a Reddit post, and he says perhaps, like here. Well, it's two things. Number one, this guy said something about, well, maybe they're talking about when they changed their name to Chicago, when it's in the context of this kindlewood and burning, about the Chicago burning. But with the heat, they're in heat. They're so hot. They're kindlewood, and then they.
I remember that same theory on Misfits Central back in the day about the big fire in Chicago.
Right.
That's, really
that's interesting. Well, 100%. I think that has to be what it is. He's doing a what's it called? A double entendre. Yeah, alliteration about they all changed their names to Chicago as if to say they're so hot that they changed their names to Chicago because they're on fire with what they're doing. Beautiful. I think that's got to be it.
Yeah.
Right? I think we can. I thought that would be a real source of contention, but at the end of the day, I think that's just the most likely answer.
Sorry. Hold on. Getting a call. It's Glenn.
Yeah, what's he saying?
He says it's about violence.
Really? Hold on.
We're all wrong.
Well, I guess that solves it. I was about to try and do the same joke, and I just realized.
Oh man!
The moment was Russell's. It was a great idea. I was to say, no, I just got a call from Glenn, and he said this. No, Russell, it's great. It's great.
All right.
Great. It's great. John of Doom is in the chat. He says it's the night Chicago died. The night Chicago.
Is that a
died.
song? That sounds like a song.
I don't know if it's a song, but it must be in reference to that on some.
Yeah.
It's a good song title.
Definitely.
Okay.
I would think so. So no resistance. Children in heat, you can't control them. Why I'm running away. So the lyrics here changed several times. Why I'm running away. They're running away. You can't control them. Why I'm running away. I think they just got them wrong. I don't think that's correct.
Did you catch that line that David Lee says? He says, well, he did run away from kids. Said he didn't marry and didn't have kids. So
that's interesting.
That's pretty interesting.
But I mean, he was also young at the time. Who knows?
Right.
Maybe young Glenn Danzig thought maybe he'd have kids at that point in his life. Who knows? But it's definitely just it almost feels like Children in Heat almost feels like it could be a song. Even I'm not talking about like sonically. I'm just talking about thematically. It seems more like something that would fit on Static Age.
Absolutely. I thought the same thing.
Right? Like it's not a horror business song. You could almost even swap it, I would say. I would love to hear a Static Age version of Children in Heat. That would be an interesting cover.
I'm fairly certain I've jammed it with Mr. Jim before. Jim has drummed on that back in the Misfits days.
I would imagine that he would have think about it. So Joey comes into the band in late 78. Just as Jim is leaving, they were already probably sort of, assuming that Glenn wrote those songs in 3 months, or at least had some semblance of those songs already rehearsing, that the Static Age lineup would have been working over preliminary horror business lineup material at that time.
The songs I know Jim did for a fact were Horror Business,
Eagles? Yeah,
Where Eagles Dare, Who Killed Marilyn, and What do we talk? Children in Heat. So this is all the horror business tracks, really.
That's so weird. I mean, that would be a really interesting sort of like cover. You know, by the way, I just want to point out this band took me up on my challenge. I challenged a band to, I said, I want you to cover, or I said in general, this is the challenge I put out. I said, cover Sam Hain songs like their Earth AD songs and cover Earth AD songs like their Sam Hain songs. And this band did it. They did a 17-track album.
Wow.
I haven't listened to it yet. I'm gonna do a whole show about this. I'm really excited. Yeah. I'm very nervous. I listen, no matter what, A for effort. Like the fact that they put in the friggin' time. I'm very curious to see how it turned out. They really put a lot of time and effort into this. So I just want to shout them out. Definitely be talking about that. But it inspires me. It makes me think of, well, what about, again, horror business, all the horror business songs, but done in that sort of more static age. Like imagine Mr. Jim arrangements to those drum parts. Yeah. More fills, not all about power.
Some hi-hat stuff, that would be really cool.
It would be really cool. And, you know, you could really make the songs sound very differently. You would have to be very intimate with both eras of the band to understand the nuances and the differences in the players. But it would just be very interesting to see how that horror business material would be put through that filter. And I guess you could do it vice versa with the static age stuff through the horror business prism, but I don't think it would be as interesting.
You know what would be interesting? I've wanted to do this for a while. We Bite in static age form.
That would be very interesting.
It absolutely could be done. Absolutely.
That would be I could see it. I think it would like definitely. But isn't that what's so fun about that? Like just imagining. Here, David says, what about Children in Heat as unbaptized children in hell? I mean, another great sort of that works too. I mean, that's what I like about these shows. Everybody sort of like kicks in their interpretations. Amy says, one of my favorite Misfits songs. I don't know why, it just is. It's definitely about rebellious children, although BFK's explanation also sounds good. Misfits based a lot of the lyrics. Yeah. Yes. Doom and gloom.